What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mike Rashid, the Conscious Capitalist. We are on Module 1, Chapter 4 and 5. All right. We will be discussing growth mindset, the power of perspective, and forgiveness. Now, I want to talk to you guys about growth mindset because it's very important. A growth mindset is an attribute of people who are self-made, like myself and everyone I'm in counsel with. Okay, there is an opposing side to that called a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset have a more negative perspective on life and on people's position in life and their position in life. People with a fixed mindset thinks that people are born the way they are and that's it. They couldn't be more wrong. I'm going to tell you about what a growth mindset is and those who have those characteristics. We embrace problems as opportunities. These are opportunities to learn and to become more wealthy with wisdom. Life is always an exciting journey. See, we know that abilities can be developed with practice. We know that there are endless opportunities to figure out new things and to grow. We are not afraid to try new things. We encourage children to develop any new skill that they're interested in because it teaches them how to learn. We listen to feedback. We love challenges. We know that effort is part of the journey that's called life. We motivate our friends and peers. We solve problems. We know that nurture is more important than nature. And what I mean by that is this. Your environment is not a limiting factor to your development. It should be an enhancement to your development. And I say that because when your beginnings are not ideal, you develop a stronger work capacity and drive than someone who's had an easy road. You're not easily rattled. People can't throw you off course. You're more sturdy and more resilient. You're hard to kill. Shit, damn near impossible. Because you've defeated the odds. You use everything at your disposal to your advantage. What some people discard as junk, you can use that as treasure. That's what makes your mind so beautiful. If you have less, when you get to the level of people who have more and then you pass them, your story is just way more glorious. We also do not do excuses. Fuck that. I'm gonna tell you a story about myself. So around 12 years ago, I was a fugitive and I was homeless. I lost everything that I had. Now, I ended up in that position because of no one else. It was because of me. It was my decisions, my inactions that put me in a huge deficit, right? So I never cried or complained to anybody because I had to own my shit like a man. Now, during that time that I was down and out, I did a lot of inner work. I meditated. And back then I didn't know I was meditating, but I was praying all the time. That's a form of meditation. I fasted, and I wasn't even consciously fasting. I wasn't trying to fast, but there were many days that I had no money to feed myself. And my logic was, well, fuck it. I've never been a thief, but I said, if I'm going to steal, it'll be because I need to eat. But I could not bring myself to do it. For one, I just think it's disgusting to take something that's not yours. But for two, remember, I'm a fugitive. So typically, people that's on the run, they get caught pretty fast by doing other crimes to survive. So I thought, how salacious and scandalous and lame would it be for me to have this huge case over my head and I'm on the run and I get caught in the grocery store stealing grapes and then they got me. So that prevented me from stealing. So in that sense, I went many days without eating anything. So even though I wasn't fasting or meditating consciously, I still was fasting and meditating, and that did a lot of healing for myself. Now, I also worked humbling jobs to get myself back on my feet. Listen, I felt that energy of hopelessness. I felt that energy of depression. I also felt that energy of anger and of fear. I said I felt it, but I did not accept it. I rejected it. Every time that I breathe, I can feel those negative emotions, but I'd redirect it and inhale it as fuel. So my problems became motivating factors. My so-called problems are the reasons that I'm a self-made millionaire to this day. Because think about the alternative. Let's say that I did allow these problems to set a negative course for my life. I'd be another loser saying, if this didn't happen, I'd be rich. I'd be blaming other people for my shortcomings. But I'll never do that. Listen, you never blame anyone but yourself for your shortcomings. Own it like a man. But fix your shortcomings. Don't just sit in it. Whatever areas you have deficiencies on, work on readying them up. Make yourself hater-proof. That takes a lot of inner work. You need a legit amount of self-awareness, and you need a legit amount of interpersonal intelligence. You need to know who you are. Identify why you're in the very position that you're in. Then identify if that's where you want to be or not. Then identify where you want to be. Then put a plan together on how to get there. Once you figure that out, there's something that I need you to do before you start your journey. You need to take inventory on everybody in your life and honestly look at your relationship with all of them. And if you've ever done anything to hurt any of them, you want to write them a letter to each one of them. Write their own letter and apologize. Don't type it out, write it. There's something very therapeutic about this process. Once you've done that, seal it up, put it away. It's just for you. Just keep it. Then I want you to talk to that person in person, if that's possible, and give them a sincere apology. Ask them for forgiveness and hug it out. If they're not ready to forgive you, that's okay. They're just not ready. But as long as your apology is sincere, your conscience will be clean and cleared out. Now, back on the topic of a growth mindset. According to neuroscience, the brain grows the more that you train it. Nurture, like I said before, is more important than nature. These are all things that are backed by science, y'all. Intelligence or skill can be developed with effort. Your brain, my brain, our brains are not fixed. They're very malleable. They're like plastic. There's a term called neuroplasticity that it basically breaks down how who we are is the sum total of decisions and habits that we make all the time. Now, when you have qualities or attributes that are not ideal, they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's old wisdom that is not valid. We can always change who we are. We can always change how we respond to things, but you have to identify what's wrong and what you do that's not proper, how you respond that's not okay, and fix it. It's hard, it's difficult, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You develop more neurons and neural pathways to continue to do what you want to do the right way. It becomes a lot easier. So, but you have to start at some point, okay? There are a lot of people who become stuck in their ways. It's by decision. It's not by default, right? So if you guys really embody some of the things that I'm giving you, like in the morning routines with the meditation, especially the fasting, things like that, it makes it easier for you to identify your flaws and shortcomings. And you're so centered in your truth, you have to fix it. It'd be weird for you to identify shortcomings in yourself and not fix it, okay? So please begin this process, all right? And when it comes to the growth mindset, just remember, please embody this. Anything that you encounter that's a problem or an impediment, it's a blessing. It's an opportunity for us to become stronger, wiser, to obtain a more robust perspective on things. Now let's talk about perspectives. I always say this, I live by this. Perspective is literally a superpower. What a perspective is the way an individual perceives the world. Your experiences, your values, your current state of mind has everything to do with your perspective. When you have a growth mindset, your perspective on what others perceive as a problem is a little bit different. A problem to you is merely an opportunity. A problem to those who don't have a growth mindset is an impediment. It's the end of the world. They jump out the window. It's a reason for them to have a bad day. It's a reason for them to be in a bad mood. We do not accept that. We reject that. We take that problem and we smile at it. We like, that's it? Let's get it. Let's go and run towards it. A problem is like a bully. Now, when I was younger, I was a kid, skinny little kid, cute kid, didn't look tough, but I had hands because I boxed and I wasn't at school, so no one knew. So I would get bullied or they would attempt to bully me, but I had no choice but to put my back against the wall and fight the bullies. And guess what I learned? Guess what I learned about these big, scary kids? They had no idea how to fight. And I thought way back then, like, this is interesting. He can't fight, but everybody's scared of him. It makes sense. It's logical. He's big, he's scary looking. So whenever he presents himself as a threat to someone, they cower down, they run. They give him power, but it's a false sense of power because he hasn't obtained the skills to be formidable with his hands. So the moment someone stands up to him, his neural pathways are thrown off. He don't know what to do. He panics and he gets his ass beat. Guess what? That bully, that's a literal thing that I'm talking about, but it's also very figurative. And you attach that bully with your problems or with any negative situation or situation that you perceive as negative that you have to deal with, that you may not want to. It's not ready for you. So run towards it and you'll see how easy it is. I'm telling you, when you have issues, when you have problems, I don't care if it's your credit, anybody out there have credit issues, it is very easy to get it fixed. Okay? I can help you with that too. But anyway, that's what it is. I want you to run towards your bully because your bully cannot fight because your bully is used to intimidating people and they run away. When they run away, they give him power, but it's false power. When you face that bully and walk to him, run to him, you defeat him. It's that simple. So I want you to avoid the unlucky, avoid those with bad luck, avoid those who are negative, avoid those with that fixed mindset. And how you can identify these people: they avoid problems. They have a huge fear of failing. They believe intelligence or talent are fixed traits, and they believe that those traits are responsible for people's success. And they're stuck on their past achievements. Fuck that. I'll give you a story about when my son was playing Pop Warner football. The boy was fast, so he was running touchdowns nonstop. And I told him, listen, you score a touchdown, you do not celebrate. Let them celebrate. You just get ready, get your mind ready to do another one. The other team, they're a little sad. The other team is a little bummed out. They're not ready for you. Usually when people have a success, they celebrate, they party, they're happy. Nah, you stay dangerous and stay hungry and go out there and run it again. Because in this world, we're only worth what we can do right now. Nobody's getting paid on what they did years ago. No one cares about that. They care about what value you're producing right now. All right? So don't celebrate. Fuck your past achievements. People with a fixed mind state, they're just afraid of failing. And we don't fear that. We don't fail. If it doesn't work out, it's just market research. And we've learned, and we apply that in our next outing. All right? People with fixed mind state, they avoid feedback. Never do that. I tell people in my circle, yo, if I'm fucking up and you don't tell me, that means you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about me. So in your circle, you see one of your people having some kind of deficiency, character deficiency, some flaws or whatever, it is your responsibility, if you love this person, to tell them in a peaceful, loving way, right? It's a way of doing things that doesn't feel like you're coming down on someone. But if you love somebody, give them honest, constructive criticism and feedback. And if you are a person of value, of quality, you accept that feedback and apply it. okay? Don't be so defensive. And never, ever take feedback personally. People with a fixed mindset, I hate this, but they always want the easy road. Avoid that. Just avoid it. People with a fixed mindset, when they're practicing and they get stuck, they stop. They quit. Don't do that. If you have to, take a break. Think about it. Recalibrate and execute. You never quit, okay? We can have all the most beautiful plans that we can articulate. But in this thing called life, things will pop up, impediments, bam, roadblocks. So what? That's just one little thing, right? What you do? The strong people will dig under it, dig through it, climb on top of it, go around it, figure out another way, solve that problem to get to the destination. But most people will just stop. I can't do it. That thing's in the way. And they go back. That's not us. We don't do that. You do not do that, all right? Also, here's another thing. People with a fixed mindset, they're afraid of success. That's a real thing. Because with success comes a lot of responsibility, right? There's a lot of people who have money and they're fucking assholes. They're shitty people. And when shitty people have a lot of money, you really see how shitty they are, okay? Some people might be on that vibe. So they don't really want that kind of exposure. And this is not for them. Good on you for running back and being afraid of success. But if you're a good person and your heart and your mind is in the right place and you have a solid group of friends and support system that will keep you in check when you're doing dumb things, you're ready for success. It's for you, right? Okay, so that's what we have for today. Really soak these in. And if you do not yet have the attributes of one with an growth mindset, start to apply it. Start thinking about these things that I've talked about. I hope you're writing your notes and apply it. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. A direct route to having a higher level of self-awareness and interpersonal intelligence is meditation, it's fasting, it's sauna, it's hard training, right? All of these things you suffer a little bit, but greatness comes out of suffering, okay? Even when I talked about people who may not have the best situation as their genesis, and they dig themselves out of deficits, those people are strong. They're beautiful. They're beautiful because they did it all on their own, okay? When I was talking about earlier, my time as a fugitive and being homeless, I am so proud of that because it gave me a lot of confidence because I know that shit, you could throw anything at me. I'm gonna handle it. I am capable, the most capable. And that's what y'all want. You want to be capable. So just because your situation is not ideal, so what? What's ideal? You know? You starting here and everybody else starting here, you get here. What? You get here? They're still down there? That's glorious, bro. And you should be proud of that. But fuck that. Keep going, okay? So you develop so much strength, so much power when you're digging yourself. Not asking for handouts, but digging yourself out of deficits. And the thing about it is when you're helping yourself, the universe is going to help you as well. So I'll end this chapter on that note. These are seeds. I hope that I'm planting them in fertile soil, because if I am, they're going to grow, they're going to blossom, and it's going to yield a great harvest. I'll let y'all later.